All right, we'll go ahead and get started. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to our July monthly meeting. At this time, if everyone will please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, would everyone please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Board members, at this time, we are down to approval of our agenda. Are there any additions or changes to our agenda tonight? If not, I'll need a motion to approve. Have a motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Yance. All in favor of approving the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I hear none. And now we are down to recognitions with Ms. Embry.
Good evening, board members and guests. On May the 14th, 7 Muhlenberg County youth competed at the regional 4-H communications contest held in Hopkinsville. Jacob Sharma, Abby Cotton, Isabella Richmond, Mackenzie Lear, Michelle Phelps, Avery Melton, and Madeline Fields. 3 participants won in their respective categories and advanced to the state level. On July the 11th, Jacob Sharma, Abby Cotton, and Madeline Fields competed in Lexington at the Kentucky 4-H State Communications Contest, where 233 youth across the Commonwealth were registered to compete in various categories. Their journey began in February of this year, where they gave their first demonstration in the classroom. From there, they advanced on to the county-wide contest in April, regionals in May, and state in July. The Kentucky 4-H Communications Contest is designed to help 4-H members develop and demonstrate public speaking, written communication, and media production skills. The contest typically features 9 to 11 categories, depending on the year and county rules, and is a leadership and skill building opportunity that can be showcased at the Kentucky State Fair. At the junior level, which is ages 9 through 13, we have 2 state champions. We have 7th grader Abby Cotton, who demonstrated in the food division cinnamon sugar hugs. And we have 6th grader Jacob Sharma, who demonstrated in the family and consumer science division the basics of continental style. At the senior level, which is ages 14 through 18, we have 10th grader Madeline Fields, who demonstrated in the foods division Madeline's Pizza, how to prepare and enjoy. So I want to thank Abby, Jacob, and Madeline for demonstrating skilled communicators and representing Muhlenberg County so well. So as I call your name, I believe all 3 are here. I'm going to invite you to come up, and Mr. Lyle, if you would present a certificate, and we'll take your photo. I will begin with Miss Abby Cotton. We'll come over in this corner. Then we have Mr. Jacob Sharma. Congratulations. And Miss Madeline Fields. Congratulations. I have another group of individuals I want to recognize now. I'm going to invite those families to please stick around. We're going to do some photos as soon as I finish with recognitions. The next recognition goes to another group of state champions, the Muhlenberg County High School bass team. They recently won the state tournament again under the leadership of Mr. Cody Napier. So Levi Sims and Carson Stone won the 2026 KHSAA State Bass Fishing Championship on Kentucky Lake with a 2-day total of 32 pounds and 14 ounces. On the co-ed side, Alexis Latham and Briley Chandler finished runners-up in the 2026 KHSAA State Bass Fishing Girls Championship with a 2-day total of 12 pounds and 4 ounces. I would like to honor each of these student athletes tonight with a certificate of recognition. So as I call your name, please come forward and receive this certificate. Carson Stone, Senior at MCHS. Mr. Levi Sims. Levi is a senior at MCHS. Congratulations. Miss Briley Chandler. Briley is a sophomore at MCHS. And Alexis Latham. Did you graduate this year? Okay, that's why I couldn't find you. Congratulations. Alexis Latham is a current graduate of, or a recent graduate of MCHS. We want to congratulate the students and Mr. Cody Napier on an outstanding season. And finally, I would just like to share, as I do each year, the names of the 2025-2026 retirees who have provided a combined total of 917 years of service in education. Those retiree names are Jackie Hicks, Matt Perkins, Maria Perkins, Brent Burris, Gina Hankins, Paula Rager, Lisa Vick, Todd Eves, Jerry Rager, Felicia Hauser, Rowena Van Meter, Renee Bogus, Holly Burkett, Penny Gates, Michelle Armour, Donna Berry, Michelle Burden, Amy Kane, Joe Cooper, Rebecca Drennan, Loretta Fleming, Jay McElwain, Nan Ellen Prophet, Amy Rager, Stephanie Drury, Pam McElroy, Beth Humphrey, Teresa Schwalier, Christine Trenda, Sherry Bryant, Shelley King, Gary Williams, Dolores Basham, Patricia Molosky, Cheryl Moore, Susie Blake, and Kim Lindsay. Congratulations again to those retirees. Thank you. I'd like to invite the students that I've recognized to meet me in the lobby. I'd like to take a few more photos.
Okay, we'll move down now to our treasurer's report. Mr. Browning.
Good evening. Looking at the PowerPoint that's provided. The bank statement or bank balance at month end was $13,620,000. As far as our revenues, if you look at the comparisons here, it's you're looking at one that's been finalized and audited and one that hasn't. So if it looks different, that's going to be why, because there's a lot of just audit entries and whatnot. So for like the general fund, it looks like revenue was down, but that's just due to some audit entries that are made. But that's just not the case. And then we also had 2 federal cash requests that came in Fund 2, so that's why that's quite a bit more than usual. As far as expenses, kind of the same deal. If you look at expenses across both years, they are relatively the same, but due to some entries that were made there, it looks like it's skewed. As far as the revenue breakdown for the general fund, about 75% SEEK funded, which is normal for this time of year. And for the expenses, you're looking at about 62% instruction, and that's just due to all the different payrolls that get ran during the month of June. So, any questions on any of that?
All right, I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Porter,
Second.
second by Ms. Yance. All in favor of approving the treasurer's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Down to payment of bills and salaries, Mr. Browning.
Yes. This month we're looking at $425,000 so far in expenses. The majority of that is general fund, and the 2 largest bills that came out of that one was KEMI, which is our workers' comp insurance, so that was paid this month, and then the other one is a tax collection fee from taxes that were in June.
Any questions? If not, I need a motion to pay bills and salaries. A motion by Mr. Johar. I'll second. All in favor of paying bills and salaries, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Thank you. We'll move down now to public participation. We have none. Thank you. We're not used to hollering across the... All right, so move down now to our superintendent report. And I'll turn that over to Mr. Lau.
Thank you, Chairman Rager. Before I begin my superintendent report, I would just like to thank you and the members of the board for the trust that you placed in me to serve as the superintendent of Muhlenberg County Schools. I don't take that lightly, and I know the responsibility before me, so I thank each one of you for that. I would also like to publicly thank my wife and my family for the support they've given me to this point, and will continue to do so. During my first few weeks, I met individually with each of you to hear your perspectives. I've spent time in our schools, and not just walking the halls, but alongside our custodial teams at Central City, South Elementary, and at Longest. Would have met a few more, but then after the Longest, they worked me so hard it messed up my back. So that hindered me getting to the other schools, but greatly enjoyed that. Met with the transportation staff in the first few weeks, looking at our construction impacts for the beginning of the school year at the high school, attended community leadership meetings, worked with business and civic organizations, and just continued learning through my superintendent. Just last week had a new superintendent training, so have enjoyed that. But every conversation that I've had has reinforced something that I believed for a long time, and that's that Muhlenberg County has incredible people who care deeply about our students, our staff, our schools, and our community. Throughout these first few weeks, we've also continued moving the district forward by filling several key leadership positions. We filled our Assistant Superintendent of Federal Programs and Instruction, Ms. Stacy Jones, our Assistant Superintendent of District Operations and Personnel, Mr. Adam Gish, and our new Muhlenberg County Middle School Principal, Ms. Ashley Miller. So a lot of great hires already, and we've also hired some great new teachers and staff, and we're just looking forward to the great things that we know that they're going to accomplish. This year's theme is "This is our moment." And that's not just a slogan. It's a reminder that every day Each one of us has the opportunity to shape Muhlenberg County schools and Muhlenberg County in general, and that every moment truly matters. That's why you'll continue to see me in our schools, in our community, and in events across Muhlenberg County, because relationships matter, trust matters, and together we'll continue to build something that our students truly deserve. I've said in several meetings, this is our moment, one voice, one purpose, one community, and we are MC, and very proud of that. Next, I would like to welcome our student representative on our board, Mr. Wilson Walker, as our 26-27 student representative at the board, and I've asked Mr. Wilson Walker to share a little bit about himself this evening.
My name is Wilson Walker. I'm a senior here at MCHS. I'd like to start by thanking the board members and Mr. Lyle for this opportunity. Just a few things about me. I'm very involved in National Beta at the high school. I'm our chapter president, as well as the Kentucky State Senior Beta Secretary for the state level. I'm very much involved in my youth group at Second Baptist Church, where I'm a member. And I've served as the class president for class of 2027 the last 3 years at the high school. So that's a little bit about me. So there you go.
Yes, we're very excited to have Wilson with us. And Wilson, as I look up here, I see we all have nameplates. And so obviously we have a nameplate for Wilson. We could have just put it up here, but I thought that's kind of ordinary because this is an important position. And so I have asked Wilson's favorite teacher of all time, Mr. Blake Perkins, to present him with his nameplate. And we'll get a picture real quick. I would ask if we give a round of applause for Wilson Walker. And just to wrap up, our administrators, our teachers across the district have continued professional learning throughout the summer. I could go on with the list of all the things going on. We had early kindergarten screening today, CTE conference next week. We have our U-Fly trainings coming up. One has already happened. Sub-trainings are coming up as well. Our administrators are getting ready to go to KSA for their annual Leadership Institute. Just a lot of great things happening, and we're very much looking forward to the Berg experience, which is coming up very quickly on August 19th. I can't say enough. Something I would like to end each one of my superintendent's reports with is a shout out to someone in our district. Sometimes it will be students, sometimes it will be staff, sometimes it will be parents or community. But tonight I would like to give a shout out to Brad Grundy. He is the custodian at Central City Elementary. Had the opportunity to work with him, and he is a skilled communicator. He is an effective collaborator. During the day that I was there, it was hard for me to keep up. And when I went around, what was impressive to me was the fact that, we talked about the building itself, but he took so much pride in that school. But when we walked in different classrooms, he was talking about the teachers and what they like. So it lets you know he takes time to build those relationships. So my shout out tonight will be to Brad Grundy, head custodian at Central City. And that concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you. And we'd like to welcome Wilson on the board. This is our second student. We just approved that this year. And I do want to kind of give a little extra. Wilson actually reached out to me after a board meeting, and we kind of had talked a little bit about adding the student representative, which kind of gives our students a voice on the board. We want student involvement. We want to be a successful board. We want this to be a successful school district. So after we talked, I was like, we've got to add a student board member. I had kind of researched a little bit, and there are several other districts that do the same thing. So we are so excited at this new journey that we're on with the board, and hope that our students can give us some insight on some things that maybe we don't realize when we go to vote for things as a school board. So glad you're here with us and look forward to working with you. At this time, we'll move on down now to our board agenda items. And the first is to elect a board secretary. The board has to elect a board secretary, and since the superintendent is considered the board secretary, I'm going to make a motion to approve the board secretary as Mr. Brian Lyle, which is the superintendent of our district. So I'll make a motion to approve Brian Lyle. Have a second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the board secretary as Brian Lyle, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. We'll move down now to item B, and this is the approval of BG1 for longest early childhood wing. Ms. Ward.
Chris Gibson with our architect Ross Tarrant is going to tag team with me on these. We've got several things to do with construction, so he's going to jump in as needed. The first one is the initial BG1 for the longest elementary early childhood wing. We had to finish the district facilities planning process, so now that that is almost complete, we can move forward with that project. And so I'll turn that over to you.
Yeah, so we've been waiting kind of for the DFP process to work out to be able to move this forward for a while. So we've been kind of going through the motions with KDE to kind of get them to kind of agree with what they would allow us to do based on the square footage of the building and the district's needs. So presenting this initial BG1 with an assumed construction cost of $5.6 million with all the the contingency built in there of 5%, the design fees, and kind of the allowance placeholders for things like special inspection, survey, geotech, and all that stuff. It's a hair over $7 million. It's $7,040,000. It's what the initial BG1 is reflecting.
So we're just needing an approval for that BG1.
I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Porter,
Second.
second by Ms. Yantz. All in favor of approving the BG1 for the longest early childhood wing, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item C is approval of site survey proposal for longest early childhood wing.
This is kind of the next step to kind of get us really get going. As that site's been left kind of in an unfinished condition for a while, we don't have a good sense of how it's been documented in terms of grading and utilities and stuff. So this is to get a surveyor out there, document, the existing elevations, the existing kind of building elements and stuff like that, and the utilities there. So it allows us to kind of move forward, because the kind of current design that we've shown has two additions, one in the front and one in the back. So we kind of need to capture the existing conditions. So we solicited 4 proposals, 4 people responded, and then we're recommending the one that was in your all's packet there with Arnold Consulting Services Engineering. I think that's how you break that down. They were a fraction higher than the second one was like $15,900, but they could turn this around in like 2 weeks, which is critical to us kind of getting moving and stuff. So we thought it was, recommendation-wise, the extra $600 was, justified.
Any questions? I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Ms. Yantz. All in favor of approving the site survey proposal for longest elementary childhood wing, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Down to item D. This is approval of revised auxiliary gym BG1.
This is just kind of bringing us kind of square, if you will, with kind of the KDE process. All the numbers here are what kind of was reviewed at the special called board meeting for the approval of the bid. So this is just kind of making sure the paperwork kind of matches up from a KDE perspective. So it reflects the kind of total construction cost of the $8,840,128.13, and then it reflects kind of all the accurate numbers we have for some of this stuff now for the survey, the geotech, the contingency, the updated design fees based on percentages and stuff. So that total BG1 is $10,565,000.
So we just need a motion to approve the revised BG1.
Make a motion.
I have a motion by Ms. Bard, second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of approving the revised auxiliary gym BG1, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item E is approval of commissioning proposal.
So the next two items are code required. Commissioning is, to kind of make sure your building systems are operating appropriately when the building opens. So based on the size of the project and the scope of the project, it justified us needing to get a commissioning agent involved. So these bids were kind of solicited through the bid package, but we had the bids submitted on bid day directly to the design team and the district, because you want a third-party person doing that. You don't want them to be tied to the contractor for obvious reasons. So we only received one bid. That's the number you guys see in front of you there for performance commissioning agencies.
So we just need an approval for that proposal in the amount of $22,200.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Porter. All in favor of approval of commissioning proposal, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Hear none. Item F, approval of testing and balancing proposal.
Same kind of logic as commissioning. It's code required to make sure the airflow is serving the spaces appropriately. You got the right, air circulation, air returns, and stuff like that. Every project typically has it, code required again. It's really about thermal comfort to make sure your system's working and getting the air it needs to and stuff. So again, we solicited kind of proposals as part of the bid. They were submitted on bid day directly to the design team and the district. We had one bid for thermal balance, and that's what we're recommending.
So we just need approval for that proposal in the amount of $13,300.
Have a motion by Ms. Yance,
Second.
second by Ms. Bard. All in favor of approval of testing and balancing proposal, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item G, approval of special inspections proposal.
This is kind of for the construction observation and kind of testing. So this is another code required thing, another third party thing where it gets contracted with the district. But they're on site to kind of be the eyes to make sure, that the rebar is in place right, or the steel gets welded correctly. It's kind of code required at the end of the project. They have to write a letter that gets submitted to the state that allows certificate of occupancy. We solicited 3 companies, got 2 responses. This one with the L.E. Gregg is pretty close to the allowance we've been carrying the whole time. So initially on the BG1, we carried $50,000. This one's for $58,000. So I feel like it was a pretty good kind of, we were pretty good about the way we estimated that, but we recommend this one for approval as well.
So that's approval for the proposal and execution of a contract with L.E. Gregg for the special inspections in the amount of $58,064.50.
Have a motion by Ms. Bard, and I'll second. All in favor of approval of special inspections proposal, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item H, approval of food service equipment proposal.
So on bid day, we didn't receive a bid for the food service package. I think mainly because it was a relatively small package, didn't get a lot of people's attention. So as we were reviewing the bids, we were talking about ways to kind of get a good number for that. And we didn't want to add it to someone else's bid package, have them mark it up, since we thought it was an amount the district could just kind of get a PO for and stuff. So we solicited 3 companies that we've dealt with in the past on behalf of the district. We got one real truly full bid that met all the requirements and was full. The other 2 we got were late and they didn't include all the equipment. So the one we got is from C&T Design. I think they have a relationship with the district in the past anyway, but we want to recommend that. That's mainly for some additional concessions equipment. We're trying to reuse as much as we can, but there's a few things we needed. And then it was an ice machine for the athletic trainer's room. So we recommend that in the amount of $11,576.96.
Need a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor of approving the food service equipment proposal, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item I is approval of district facilities hearing report.
So this has been somewhat of a long process. We've had committee meetings to create the district facilities plan, and then you have to send it to KDE, and then it comes back, and so then we have the public hearing. That public hearing was held on July the 7th. and that is to give community the opportunity to come in and speak if they wish. At that hearing, we had no one in attendance. So what happens is our hearing officer, Mr. Pete Galloway, reads a script that's provided to him by KDE. So he read that script and that was recorded and then sent to KDE. So we just need your approval of that hearing report that you all also have a copy of. And then after this approval, it goes now to the Kentucky Board of Education, to the state board, and for their approval at a later date.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Ms. Shantz. All in favor of approving the district facilities hearing report, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Thank you. All right, down to item J is consider adding a part-time instructional assistant 1 at Greenville Elementary. Mr. Gish.
Good afternoon, board members. Greenville Elementary School is seeking to add a part-time instructional assistant 1 to serve in a unique role that combines student services, counseling office support, and front office assistance. This position would allow their counselor to spend more time servicing their students, which is of their greatest concern. This position will be funded by SBDM funds and has been approved by their SBDM council. I recommend that the Muhlenberg County Board approve the part-time instructional assistant 1 at Greenville Elementary, funded by their SBDM funds.
Have a motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Bard. All in favor of considering the part-time instructional assistant 1 at Greenville Elementary, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item K is to consider second reading of KSBA Board Policy Update Number 49.
This is the second reading of the annual KSBA Board Policy Update Number 49. All of the updates to the board policies are either required by state law or the recommendations by KSBA. I recommend that the board consider this as the second reading of KSBA Board Policy Update Number 49 and accept the proposed changes as written.
Make a motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Porter. All in favor of considering the second reading of KSBA Board Policy Update Number 49, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item L is to consider adding a driver's education stipend for the 26-27 school year.
Muhlenberg County High School would like to offer a stipend of $6,000 for the driver's education teacher, allowing for 2 additional sections of the driver's education course. This stipend would be for the 26-27 school year only. This would provide the opportunity, or put the opportunity in place for more students to earn this important life skill. I recommend the Muhlenberg County Board approve the driver's education stipend for the 26-27 school year, funded by the MCHS SBDM allocation.
Make a motion.
I have a motion by Ms. Bard and a second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of considering the driver's ed stipend for the 26-27 school year only, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item M is to consider approving the municipal advisory agreement. Mr. Lyle.
So action is required by the Muhlenberg County Board of Education to approve the municipal advisory agreement, and this is between the Muhlenberg County Board of Education and RSA advisors. And I would recommend that we approve the municipal advisory agreement.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Porter,
Second.
second by Ms. Yantz. All in favor of consider approving the municipal advisory agreement, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item N is to consider a one-time landscaping allocation with SBDM matching funds up to $5,000 per school.
So after our work session, we talked a little bit about landscaping around our district and making sure that our facilities, we have great facilities, but we want to make sure that they continue to look good as people drive by and see the great great facilities that we do have. So in our discussions, we decided on a one-time landscaping allocation. So if a principal in the site base chooses to spend $3,000, then we will match that at the board up to $5,000. And with the stipulation that it is used for the landscaping, and it is something we would really encourage and strongly encourage our principals in site base to consider as they look at their facilities.
Have a motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Bard. All in favor of considering the one-time allocation for landscaping to be matched with SBDM funds up to $5,000 per school, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item O is to consider purchasing the bus ride program for the Muhlenberg County Transportation Department.
So the Muhlenberg County Transportation Department, they came to us with the bus ride transportation program. And this program is an all-in-one solution for safe driver navigation, second-by-second GPS tracking, efficient route management, and a big part of this is the reliable parent communication to make sure that our parents and as well as our transportation department know exactly where our location of our buses are. So I would recommend that the board approve the purchase of the bus ride program.
I'm going to make a motion.
Second.
Second by Ms. Yantz. All in favor of considering the purchase of the bus ride program for the Transportation Department, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Item P is to consider adopting a resolution authorizing the Muhlenberg County School District Finance Corporation to issue revenue bonds.
So again, this is a required action by the board to adopt the resolution in order to move forward with our Muhlenberg County School District Finance Corporation meeting, which will take place after this meeting.
Have a motion by Mr. Johar.
Second.
Second by Ms. Bard. All in favor of adopting resolution authorizing the Muhlenberg County School District Finance Corporation to issue revenue bonds, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. All right, at this time, we are down to our board consent agenda items. Those items are approval of the minutes of the prior board meeting, considering approving Mr. Lyle's professional growth plan for the 26-27 school year, considering adopting the 5-standard KASA Superintendent Effectiveness Framework, review of Mr. Lyle's 30, 60, 90-day plan for the 26-27 school year, approval of the memorandum of agreement with Maximum Healthcare, and consideration of field trip requests. Board members, you've had a chance to review all of these in your packets. Are there any questions on any of these items? If not, I would need a motion to approve the board consent agenda items.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Yantz,
Second.
second by Mr. Porter. All in favor of considering all of the board consent agenda items, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And we are down now to adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion by Ms. Bard, second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none, and we are adjourned. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call our meeting to order. This is our special Finance Corporation meeting. And at this time, we are now to approving the officers of the Finance Corporation. This is just a formality that we have to vote on as a board. So this is to state that the officers of the Finance Corporation would be as follows: President Stephanie Rager, Vice President Logan Porter, Secretary Brian Lyle, and Treasurer Preston Browning. Have a motion by Mr. Johar to approve, second by Ms. Bard. All in favor of approving the officers of the Finance Corporation, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And at this time, we'll move down to item 3, and this is to adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance of revenue bonds. I'll turn that over now to, yes.
Guys, again, thank you for having me tonight. Really, just in Kentucky, to issue revenue bonds, household since the last few weeks, 20-year fixed rate has come in between 4 and 4.3%, fluctuates daily, and that's questions?
I think we covered a lot of that in our work session last week, so are there any other questions or discussion? If not, I'll need a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing the issuance of revenue bonds. A motion by Mr. Johar. Second by Mr. Porter. All in favor of adopting the resolution of the bonds, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none. And we're down to adjourning. I have a motion by Ms. Bard. Second by Mr. Johar. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? I hear none, and we are adjourned. Thank you.